All right. Welcome back, everyone, to I think this is podcast number 33. We're going to do a little um, midway point baseball series podcast. We're going to talk some trade deadline, talk some sticky substances because we never really got to that. And then just a second half outlook, maybe some predictions. But before I start, you guys know who I am. I'm Aaron, and we got special guest Wyatt with us today, all
Thanks
the
for having
way
me,
from
Aaron.
Tennessee.
That's right. That's right.
That's a big trip from Rhode Island. But
It is. It is. It's fun.
but you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, so
Exactly.
this first video, I think we're just gonna go straight into trade deadline stuff because it's been kind of spicy, and we're recording this on the Wednesday, the week of the trade deadline. So keep in mind that this will probably be posted Friday. Stuff might happen in the next day and a half, but we're just gonna, do our predictions, go over what's going on right now. But just to start off, I mean, we're just going straight to the MLB website. Like Joey Gallo to the Yankees, like my side of that is very mixed because I'm a Red Sox fan, so I look at it as, now he's Joey Gallo's a good player. They gave up a bunch of prospects for him, a bunch of, names that we've probably never heard of before, but they're top,
Mm,
not like, they're mid-tier guys. But the thing is, it only makes sense because he's got another year in his contract. But it's just a lefty version of what they already have in their lineup and what they struggle with, which is low average, high power, high strikeout rate. So like I think it's a good deal, but I feel like you gave up a lot to just add to your lineup of what you already have.
yeah, I mean, I like the trade for the Yankees because I mean, left-handed hitting for them has been absolutely terrible. I mean, I believe they're hitting 197 or so, 190
Hmm.
for their left-handed batters. So this is a huge upgrade. Obviously, Joey Gallo isn't hitting for average, but he does have a 380 on base percentage. So he's gonna walk and he's gonna hit monster home runs, especially in Yankee Stadium with the short porch. But and he also has like a 500% slugging percentage. So I mean, I think it's a huge upgrade. And for the Rangers too, they got a huge just boost in prospect depth. So I don't think it's bad for either. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a good move for both sides. I mean, Texas isn't really competing. Gallo's gonna be a free agent after next year, so I mean, might as well cash in. I really like this deal for the Diamondbacks. Eduardo Escobar is a good middle infielder, but he has, I think, some sort of outfield experience. I think he's been playing a
mm,
little bit at first base as well, which is they've been kind of lacking in a little bit over there. I was surprised. I thought they were going to go with Aguilar because Aguilar was a former face for the Brewers, and I thought that would have
yeah,
been a nice move. But Escobar is a great move too because switch hitter, plays multi position, helps you, and that's where your deadline is. That might be an all star, but your goal is to get guys that are just going to help you in general.
mm,
But I think, this puts the Brewers in a very good position. Probably it's the second or third best National League team and established. Now it's just a matter of getting there and playing correctly.
yeah. I hope they make a deep run. Obviously, they have pretty much three Cy Young contenders on in the rotation. You got Peralta, Corbin Burns, and Brandon Woodruff. But yeah, this just helps their offense a bit. Um, I know they went out and got Rowdy Tellis from the Blue Jays, so he's been a pretty big help. I think he's hitting like 400 for them since he came. So I think this is a great move. I think Escobar is going to thrive here as well. So I want to see the Brewers go far this October.
Yeah. And I think this also helps because Christian Yelich has kind of been really
Yeah, he's
hurt.
been there.
He's been affected with COVID. He's got the back problem that's kind of just affecting his livelihood right now. So, and he's just not
Mm,
playing as well. So, this is just a
you put
big,
Escobar anywhere.
yeah.
So it's great.
And then for what it's worth, there hasn't really been too many other like big trades per se. There's been a lot of, little ones like the Reds got Michael Givens, Starling Marte. That
Some
was actually a
yeah, that
big
was
trade. I actually forgot
yep.
about that. So that I would consider that a big deal. Um, my thoughts are very different on this trade because I look at it as if I was running the team, I'm more happier for the Miami side because I think when you look at the Athletics, they're not the best team in their division, and they're not the
Mm,
best team in the AL. And this doesn't push them above either of those tiers for me. Marte is a great player, don't get me wrong, but come playoff time, that's not a bat that I look at like, Marte's up to the plate. You know what I mean? Like he's good, and he might get you a single, double, steal base. But I'm liking the fact that Luzardo goes to Miami, bolsters their already super young rotation, and they have him under control until 2027, where, the
yeah.
Athletics are most likely not going to be able to afford Marte because they don't really have too much money to toss around. But, that's just my opinion, though.
No, I completely agree with you there. I think it's a great win for Miami. I mean, you're getting a kid who's a very highly coveted prospect for many teams.
Yeah.
And Marte a free agent too after this year? So it's like a 2-month rental for a really coveted pitching prospect to already boost that rotation, which I think is really good now, like currently.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna be really scary in a couple of years, and I like it. And they did send some cash over to Oakland, so I guess
It's not
you know,
that bad. It's
it's
just
not bad for
you gave
Oakland.
up a
It's
big
just like
prospect that could have been like your
yeah,
future and cheap for you for a team that doesn't have that much money. Yes, I
yeah,
know like his stats are little. Luzardo came up and had one good year. A decent year, his first full year, and he wasn't that great this year because they tried to use him as a reliever and then starter, and it just didn't really work. But
yeah.
and then you look at some of just the other stuff. I mean, there's a lot of rumors. I mean, you look at the Cubs as Kimbrel, Chris Bryant, just to name a few. Baez could be on the move as well. Um, and then as you look at the Yankees, they're in on Trevor Story. Trevor Story looks like he's probably gonna get dealt too. So I mean, there's a lot of star power that still has room to be pushed around. And if I were to guess, I think Trevor Story is gonna be a Giant. Just to toss some predictions out there. I think the Giants are a very good National League team. I think they're the second best team in the National League behind the Dodgers. Um, and if they were to get Story offensively, that's just a massive boost. If I were to guess, I think Rizzo ends up staying a Cub and then signs elsewhere next year. I think Chris Bryant gets traded though because of his versatility.
Mm.
Because any team can use him as a third baseman. You can use him at first base. You can use him at corner outfield. So I think his versatility puts him in position to be traded like Escobar.
Where do you think he may? You know,
I'm
I
thinking
I, I
Mets.
I was yeah, I like the Mets too. It makes sense, especially with the new ownership, just to go out and just get that final push for them because they do need some offensive help, and Bryant would be, I think,
Yeah.
fantastic. And third base, I think they've been like rotating like Brandon Drury, JD Davis. So I think Bryant would be nice for
Yeah.
them. So and he can
Yeah. And
play in the outfield if you want. So
exactly. I think like when you look at it, like Eduardo Escobar was such a big target as a trade because of the fact that he could play 4 or 5 positions and he still would going to give you above average play every night. And then, we're both Red Sox fans in here. So if I were to guess, I think their best trade target will be Kimbrel. And I'm basing it off of what Chaim Bloom said the other day. He said our best asset is to potentially strengthen what's already good. And when he meant by that, I think was he looks at our bullpen. Our bullpen's been very good this year. And if there's one thing you need in the postseason, if you look at Ottavino, other than a couple bad stretches, have been very good. Barnes has been very good. Whitlock's been amazing. Josh Taylor has turned the season around quite well. Darwin,
Stallwormer, pretty solid.
yeah,
Yeah.
Darwin's in. I wouldn't bet my life on it. Statistically, very good, but
Mm.
him throwing a pitch in the postseason gives me agita. So I think
And
Kimbrel
then
will be a
what
nice addition there.
Barnes said today, saying he will gladly go to that setup spot again
Mm.
if
Hmm.
if they get Kimbrel. So
Yeah,
that's a great thing to say. So I
yeah,
think that quote shows like I think we have the best shot for him. But I think it'll be a late one. I think because
yeah. I think like with Bloom and how he operates with resetting the Red Sox. He's looking to compete this year, but I think he also said it that he's looking to compete this year. But he's also looking to compete for years to come. Like if he could set up a team like how Friedman set up the Dodgers,
Mm,
where it's like, okay, oh, he left the free agency. Oh, let's just call up, Corey Seager at the time. Let's go acquire Manny Machado for a year. Oh, Gavin Lux is in time to come up. So it's like you look at this team that just drafted Marcelo Meyer. It could be in a couple years from now where you might be able
mm,
to move Jeter down to the trade deadline right now for a Kimbrel, for a Rizzo, for a Bryant. I mean, um,
yeah.
just looking at the Cubs, they unfortunately I keep mentioning them, but it's like they're the team that has the three top tier trade deadline pieces that could change a team. So,
Mm.
but yeah, do you have any random trade prediction before?
Well, did we say anything about Scherzer? I can't remember.
No, actually. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What are your
Well,
thoughts
if
on
you want to,
Scherzer?
so I mean, it seems like he does have a certain list,
Hmm.
and he does have to okay the trade. I do think it'll end up being LA. It kind of makes sense. The Dodgers
Yeah.
or Padres. I think Dodgers makes more sense just because I don't know what's going on with Bauer. I think he's done,
Yeah.
honestly. So, and Dustin May, they lost him. I don't think David Price is a really. I don't really like him starting because it seems like they lose most of the games that he plays.
Yeah.
That he starts. Um, so I think he will end up going to the Dodgers. I think they're going to overpay, but I don't think they care that much. The Nationals will get a good haul. So I just think whoever their top five prospect, one top five prospect, one top 10, and then just a maybe
Yeah.
low end prospect. So I could see
Yeah.
that happening. I
No,
don't know
I
if the Red
agree.
Sox really. I want them to get Max, but I don't know if Bloom's just gonna go all in for him. I don't know. So
Yeah. I think it's funny because when you mention the West Coast teams, we always talk about, you think it's San Diego and Dodgers first because before the season, nobody saw the Giants doing what they were going to do this year.
yeah,
And
no.
for what it's worth, I would love to see the Giants show consistency over the next couple of years, but unfortunately, they don't really have like anyone too young on their team that's going to be like, there for a couple of years dominating. You're getting a rebound season from Lagoria, rebound season from Crawford. Um, your Kevin Gausman
Posey,
turned into a Cy Young. Posey, yeah,
yeah,
Posey's back rebound. So it's like that might be the team that goes last minute, goes, you know what, screw it. We're going all in on Scherzer. We're good. Scherzer, Gausman as our two guys. We're rolling into the veteran team. And if they don't win it this year, then it's kind of just reset. So
and
my
then
guess
guys
would be
like
Giants. But in my heart,
yeah,
I believe, like you were saying, it's probably gonna be Padres or Dodgers because that's more of the
yeah,
sexy appeal for what
it
it's worth.
is. It is. I can just see it already. So it was supposed to happen today. I think tonight, like next 48 hours or
Yeah.
something. So I'm sure it'll come very soon. And I don't think he's gonna make his next start. So
Yeah.
it'll probably. I think he started. He's supposed to start tomorrow. So
Yeah.
you could see
It
it
wouldn't
very
surprise me
possibly.
if you got a notification saying he got scratched. So
Maybe even yeah. So um,
yeah. Is there anything else? Any other random player?
trying to think. Um,
I mean, there's obviously some like, small pieces. Crappy teams like the Orioles. They always got a random reliever or
at
someone.
Barrios too. He's been
Yeah, some
inside.
twins. No, oh,
Maybe,
Nelson Cruz. That was kind of a big
oh yeah,
deal.
tried to talk about that.
Um, they kind of got him for cheap. Didn't really give up much,
No,
but it's what the Rays needed. Same thing. They're kind of in position where it's like, okay, we're exceeding a lot of our expectations again this year after kind of rehauling the offseason. And
mm,
and then they're another team that could look at a cheap star pitcher again. They sent off Rich Hill to get Cruz basically as for cash reasons. So it wouldn't surprise me if they send off another position player they don't use. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I think there will be more over the next couple of days, and I'm going to share that through the page. Anything that happens, And then maybe we'll do like a small post deadline one if we do more baseball stuff, obviously throughout. But I think we're gonna go on to our next segment. We're gonna stop the video right now. So make sure you guys watch this first one. This is gonna be like a little 3-part series kind of with Wyatt and I. So that's the end of our trade deadline talks. We'll be back in the next video.